Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're zeroing in on the tech landscape of June 4th, 2026, and wow, a fascinating, honestly kind of jarring theme has emerged from the data. It's this massive duality arc. On one hand, we're seeing AI flex some absolutely unprecedented economic and defensive power. But in that exact same breath, it's revealing terrifying new vulnerabilities and literal existential threats. It's a day where AI's mind-blowing capabilities are growing in perfect lockstep with its dangers. So let's get into it. Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for this briefing. We're going to cover 1. The $85 billion AI war. 2. The great cybercrime takedown. 3. Democratizing local AI. 4. Convenience versus absolute privacy. 5. The hidden notification vulnerability. And 6. The bioweapon existential threat. All right, let's get started. Starting off with Section 1, the $85 billion AI war. We absolutely have to start with the sheer macroeconomic flex happening right now. The scale of this AI revolution has officially shifted from software development straight into a massive physical infrastructure war. Alphabet, Google's parent company, just pulled off the largest equity raise in stock market history. Seriously, they originally targeted $80 billion, but investor demand was so off the charts that they actually pushed it to a staggering $85 billion in stock sales. No way around it, that is just a colossal amount of money. Now, to really put that into perspective, Alphabet's raise is nearly 3 times the size of the Saudi Aramco IPO back in 2019, which previously held the record. It completely dwarfs Alibaba's massive 2014 debut. So why on earth is Alphabet willing to dilute its shares this aggressively? Well, because they know the reality. The company that controls the compute controls the future. They literally cannot afford to lose an inch of ground to Microsoft, Meta, or Amazon. So where exactly does $85 billion even go? It goes straight into the physical foundation of AI. Get this, Alphabet is projecting a massive $190 billion in capital expenditures for 2026 alone. This cash is being deployed to build out specialized data centers that run a cool $2 to $5 billion a pop. They're buying millions of TPU v5 chips at roughly $100,000 each just to train frontier models like Gemini 2.0. And because these systems are insanely power hungry, they're pouring money into renewable energy, small modular nuclear reactors, and massive upgrades to undersea fiber optic cables just to handle all that data transfer. And if you want the ultimate validation of this massive spending spree, look no further than Berkshire Hathaway. Warren Buffett's firm just dropped $10 billion into this exact round. Buffett notoriously avoids tech hype, right? So this signals a profound realization. AI infrastructure is not some passing trend. It is the undisputed physical foundation of tomorrow's global economy. Moving on to Section 2, the great cybercrime takedown. As these companies pour billions into building this tech, we're also seeing how this incredible power can actually be wielded defensively. Let's take a look at a totally unprecedented alliance between tech giants and government enforcement. This totally reshapes the paradigm for fighting global cybercrime. During what was officially dubbed Disruption Week, multiple groups coordinated a devastating strike against Southeast Asian scam networks. You know, the ones using AI to generate fake profiles and deepfakes to defraud billions. Meta used machine learning to detect and nuke 1.4 million fraudulent accounts. Coinbase tracked the blockchain and froze over $3 million. But honestly, the most fascinating tactical move? SpaceX literally cut off Starlink's satellite internet access to hundreds of these remote scam centers. They just severed their lifeline to the outside world, right as the DOJ and the FBI moved in to arrest 63 key operators. The era of unilateral tech action is over. This cross-platform choke point is the new blueprint for defense. All right, Section 3, democratizing local AI. Let's bring that massive scale of AI data centers down to something sitting right there on your desk. The push to democratize this technology is accelerating faster than anyone expected. Google just released the AI Edge Gallery specifically for Mac users. This means you can run their Gemma 4 12B model entirely locally, completely offline, using just 16 gigabytes of unified RAM on a standard Apple Silicon MacBook. Guys, this is a massive architectural breakthrough. Instead of relying on a super heavy 515 million parameter vision or audio encoder, Google engineered a lightweight 35 million parameter unified embedder. This encoder-free design is exactly what makes running such a powerful multimodal model on your everyday laptop actually possible. So the key takeaway here is understanding the strategic trade-off. Local AI, it gives you absolute privacy. Your data never leaves your device. It costs zero in API fees, it works while you're on an airplane, and it offers real geopolitical independence for developers in restricted regions. But on the flip side, the cloud is still absolute king for heavy reasoning. Frontier models require massive data centers to operate at their peak, they offer near infinite context windows, and they won't completely drain your laptop battery in an hour. Basically, we're entering an era of hybrid AI use.
Which brings us to Section 4, convenience versus absolute privacy. Speaking of that tension between local privacy and cloud capabilities, let's pivot to the most polarizing transitional story of the day.
Google just launched an app called Dream Beans, powered by their Nano Banana 2 model. The goal? To finally cure your doom scrolling. It limits your feed to just 3 to 5 curated stories a day. It actually analyzes your Gmail, calendar, YouTube, and photos to generate these highly personalized watercolor-style cartoon stories and actionable lifestyle suggestions based on your actual daily events. But, and it's a huge but, to get your life beautifully organized into cute watercolor cartoons, you have to grant Google unprecedented surveillance over your entire digital life. It deeply analyzes your personal behavioral patterns. It is literally the ultimate test of the modern tech bargain. Are you really willing to surrender absolute privacy for perfectly curated convenience? And that broad data access brings us directly to Section 5, the hidden notification vulnerability. We need to talk about the modern Trojan horse. All this massive system access creates a terrifying security flaw that was just recently discovered by SafeBreach Labs. It's called an indirect prompt injection attack, and it directly targets Google Gemini's contextual awareness right on your phone. Here is how crazy this is. An attacker sends you a WhatsApp or Slack message containing hidden malicious instructions. You don't even have to open the app. The exact moment the notification pops up on your screen, Gemini, just trying to be a helpful context-aware assistant, reads the notification and silently executes that hidden code. It might forward your boss's emails to the attacker or force you into a random Zoom call. Even worse, these poisoned instructions can embed themselves into Gemini's long-term memory, acting like time-delayed malware that triggers weeks down the line. It's wild. Now, Google has pushed a partial server-side fix, but completely preventing this is architecturally incredibly difficult without, completely destroying the AI's ability to actually be helpful. So until a full patch is out, you need to take action. Limit Gemini's access to your sensitive apps. If you see a notification from an unknown source, delete it without opening it. Routinely clear your Gemini conversation history to wipe out any potential poisoned memory. And honestly, if you handle highly confidential work, you might just need to disable the assistant entirely for now. Finally, Section 6, the bioweapon existential threat. We've seen AI as an economic engine, a defensive tool, and a privacy risk. Now we're escalating to the absolute ultimate dual-use dilemma. Back in April, OpenAI announced GPT-Rosalind. It's a brilliant, highly advanced inference model purpose-built for the life sciences. It can review insanely complex scientific papers, design novel experiments, and literally engineer proteins. It has the real potential to accelerate disease cures by decades. But there is a very dark flip side. The exact same capabilities that can design a life-saving molecule can, theoretically, be used by a non-expert to design an engineered pathogen. This threat is so real that the CEOs of OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google DeepMind, Sam Altman, Dario Amodei, and Demis Hassabis, did something totally unprecedented. They sent a joint letter begging the U.S. Congress for strict regulations. They explicitly warned that AI is rapidly eroding the knowledge barriers that once kept non-experts from creating biological weapons. They are actively demanding mandatory screening for all synthetic DNA orders, strict customer verification, and serious global cooperation. Think about that. When the creators of the technology are literally pleading with the government for regulation, you know the threat is genuine. So, from an $85 billion infrastructure land grab to the democratization of local AI, from massive privacy trade-offs to the literal existential threat of bioweapons, June 4th, 2026 makes one thing abundantly clear. A new technological aristocracy is forming right in front of us. The resources required to compete at the frontier are becoming totally insurmountable for all but a handful of megacorporations. As this gap between the AI haves and the AI have-nots widens at breakneck speed, I want to leave you with this to ponder. In a future controlled by this new tech elite, how will you adapt, protect your data, and leverage these newly democratized local tools to ensure you aren't left behind? Thanks for learning with us today, and I'll see you in the next explainer.